Compromised. It is the word of the season. Every week someone is calling someone compromised. But what does that word actually mean? In politics, compromise is not a disagreement. To be compromised means decision making is influenced by something more than national interest. So instead of slogans, let us look at history, at documented records. Because if we are going to use the word compromised, we should be very clear what it actually looks like. Let's begin. For over 7 decades, one political family has remained central to India's political story. But alongside that dominance lies a long trail of allegations, controversies, classified reports, memoir revelations, and unresolved questions. So you see, in 1954, India signed the Panchsheel Agreement with China, formally recognizing Tibet as a region of China. India withdrew its inherited rights and presence from Tibet. Within years, China completed a strategic highway through Aksai Chin, territory India later acknowledged as disputed. Parliament was informed only after the road had already been operational. Then came 1962. The Henderson-Brooks report, never officially tabled in Parliament, reportedly criticized the forward policy adopted before the Sino-Indian War. Were these moral diplomatic choices or strategic miscalculations? History is still debating. Moving on to the Cold War influence. India championed non-alignment, but memoirs and intelligence archives tell a more complicated story. Former US Ambassador Daniel Patrick Moynihan wrote that the CIA had funneled funds to the Congress Party during the Cold War era. The Mitrokin archives alleged deep KGB penetration within Indian political and bureaucratic circles, claiming assets across multiple layers of governance. Sovereignty is also about independence of decision making. Was this sovereignty compromised? And then institutional overreach and constitutional strain. In the Berubari case, territory transfer to Pakistan required a constitutional amendment after the Supreme Court clarified that executive authority alone was insufficient. The Nehru-Noon Agreement ultimately led to the 9th constitutional amendment. The Prime Minister was busy gifting away territories. And then in the later years, Sanjay Baru's memoir described a dual power structure during the UPA era, where authority appeared to operate beyond the Prime Minister's office through the National Advisory Council. Critics described it as a shadow decision-making apparatus. And then corruption allegations across decades. The Jeep scandal of 1948 was one of independent India's first major corruption controversies. V.K. Krishna Menon, then High Commissioner to the United Kingdom, signed a contract worth approximately 80 lakh rupees for the purchase of army jeeps without following standard procurement procedures. In 1955, the case was abruptly closed without prosecution soon after Krishna Menon entered the Union cabinet. The Bofors scandal in the 1980s involved allegations of kickbacks in a defense deal, Swedish investigations, Swiss accounts, and the name Ottavio Quattrocchi, a family friend of Rajiv and Sonia Gandhi, became central to the controversy. In the Augusta Westland helicopter deal, Italian court judgments referenced conversations of 3 middlemen, Carlos Gerosa, Christian Michel, and Gildo Hashke, with mentions of Mrs. Gandhi being the driving force behind the VIP. Investigations have moved through multiple judicial stages. Each case exists within legal complexity, but together they form a pattern of recurring allegations involving power and proximity. A compromise. Now looking at security decisions and strategic trade-offs. In 2008, the Congress Party signed an MOU with the Communist Party of China. It was a party-to-party agreement, not government to government. The full details were never publicly debated in Parliament. And while that was a security decision, here's a security concern. More recently, the CRPF raised concerns over Rahul Gandhi's repeated violations of VVIP security protocol. In an official communication, the CRPF's VVIP security wing flagged that he undertook multiple foreign visits without prior intimation, a breach of the Yellow Book guidelines that govern protection of high-risk individuals. Rahul Gandhi made 247 foreign trips between 2015 and 2019, many without prior SPG intimation. Now here's the big dynasty question. From Feroz Gandhi's parliamentary entry to Sanjay Gandhi's Maruti project, from Rajiv Gandhi's political ascent to Sonia Gandhi's leadership of the UPA and Rahul Gandhi's international engagements, critics argue that Congress evolved into a dynasty-centric structure. Dynasty politics is not illegal, but when political power concentrates within a single lineage for generations, institutional independence becomes harder to measure. Is loyalty to ideology or to family? Because in a democracy, legacy is not inherited, it is audited.